Outworld. A realm lost to its own origins. Outworld is made up of countless realms that had been conquered and merged into one. Traditionally, it is the desire of Outworld's emperor to merge all the realms in existence under one rule. This is the tale of the original emperor of Outworld, the Dragon King, Onaga.
Onaga, also known as the Dragon King, was the original ruler of Outworld, who was overthrown by Kahn sometime in the distant past. The Dragon King came back to life by possessing Reptile's body. Onaga's main goal was to become the ultimate ruler of Outworld again. He finds that he has to make some alliances to achieve that goal.
Onaga the Dragon King is the big boss.
The Dragon King is kind of like Reptile was becoming this character that was evolving over time into a bigger character. And he's a huge character, massive wings, very ominous looking character.
Onaga, who was the last known great dragon to walk the realms, always was a great threat to the realms, as far back as recorded history. Some speculate that he was here from the very beginning, as an avatar for the so-called One Being, a theoretical being that is responsible for the creation of our realms, and as legend tells, the being will awaken once all the realms are put back together. Regardless if there is any legitimacy of those myths or not, the Dragon King was very real and a very dangerous threat to any that stood in his way. He was tough to match with his massive size, fire breath, and godlike strength. But even if someone could match up to the Dragon King, they would need to go through his ancient undefeatable army. His men were very loyal to their king, and they gained the reputation of being unbeatable. Many stories were spread how the men of the Dragon King were not real men at all, and could not be slain. For when one is to be fallen, they surely will rise again. In truth, they were real mortal men, men that died for their king countless times in battle. Onaga's greatest power was the power of resurrection, and the key to his so-called undefeatable army. Realm after realm would be conquered and merged with Outworld, as seemingly no one in all the realms could match the power of the Dragon King. That is, until a certain general.
Shao Kahn was the big bad guy.
Feel the power of Shao Kahn.
Well, Shao Kahn is kind of like the top of the ladder in terms of big bad guys.
Prepare to die.
He was really the boss's boss in a sense, and he was basically the guy that everybody was ultimately trying to stop in terms of his invasion of Earth.
Before he eventually became the infamous Kahn known throughout the realms, he was known as General Shao, general and top advisor of the Dragon King. Shao was there with Onaga on the battlefields, helping orchestrate his men as they attacked and conquered the realms. General Shao was seen as very loyal to his king, and had been favored by Onaga. But Shao wasn't as loyal as he appeared. General Shao had witnessed firsthand how Onaga possessed the power of resurrection, and was perhaps the only one that knew the truth of how it worked. General Shao wanted the power for himself, but he knew not even he could face Onaga alone. Shao would use knowledge taught to him by his king to create a most powerful toxin. He would contaminate the king's food and drink with the toxin, poisoning the Dragon King. Onaga never suspected his right-hand man would betray him, but General Shao did just that. As Onaga became ill, Shao would take advantage of his position of power and the trust his king had for him, and Shao would single-handedly slay the Dragon King. That is the day that a general became a Kahn. However, Shao did not gain the power of resurrection as he had expected to. He was mistaken that the power was connected to the throne, as it was not. It was a power that was a part of the very essence of Onaga. One that could not be claimed. But Shao had successfully claimed the throne of Outworld, despite the army refusing to follow his rule. However, it would not take long for Shao Kahn to recruit new generals and military to begin his reign. It appeared that the army of the Dragon King would vanish. In truth, they were guided by the loyal priests of the Dragon King, and were taken to a hidden location, where they would willingly be mummified, to be preserved for the prophesied return of their king. Onaga's soul and essence were transferred to the timeless, immortal, nether realm. A realm where tainted souls go, once their mortal selves perish in the mortal realms. But, Onaga wouldn't have any intention of remaining imprisoned there. Eventually, Onaga had gained the means to communicate from beyond the nether realm, being able to temporarily create aspirations to directly talk with those in the mortal realms. Through this, Onaga would guise himself under the name of Damashi, and would manipulate a young Shaolin monk, named Shujinko.
Greetings, Shujinko.
Who? What are you?
Do not be afraid. I am Damashi. I am an emissary of the Elder Gods.
The Elder Gods?
Yes, they are the powers that made this world possible, as well as many others. I have come to you on their behalf because they need your help.
What kind of help do gods need?
The Elder Gods are in need of a champion, one who could complete a quest to save the realms. Shujinko, will you accept this quest to save all that exists? You will be a true hero.
What if I refuse?
Then I will find another. One of your friends, perhaps. The one who pretends to be Shang's son.
No, not him. I will be your champion. What must I do?
You must traverse the realms in search of items of great importance.
But Master Raicho will not let me outside the walls of the town.
Not to worry, Shujinko. I will bestow upon you a great power. The ability to absorb the fighting skills from any fighter you encounter. This will give you the edge you will need on your quest. Go now, return to Master Raicho, and show him you are an experienced fighter.
I will, Damashi. Thank you. I will not let the Elder Gods down.
Shujinko, I see you have passed your test.
Yes, Damashi. The power you gave me to copy other warriors worked well. I really felt as if I could fight like Master Raicho. He was so impressed that he offered to train me personally.
Excellent. There is much you can learn from him. But first, you should begin your quest. You must find 6 items of great importance. The Kamidogu. Think of them as tools of the gods. There is an impending doom that threatens the survival of all the realms. With these tools, the Elder Gods will vanquish this menace.
Where do I find these? Kamidogu.
They have been scattered throughout reality. Each one lies hidden in a different realm. The Elder Gods are unable to retrieve these items themselves, and therefore must elect a champion born within the realms to collect them. They have constructed portals and the Nexus to aid their champion in his quest.
What is the Nexus? Where do I find it?
Once you have found the first Kamidogu, I will show you what to do. Until then, good luck with your search.
Thank you, Damashi.
It would take all his days till he was an elder, but Shujinko would complete his mission. Upon completion, Shujinko will learn of Damashi's deception.
I do not understand. The Kamidogu should have been transported to the Elder Gods. Why is it not happening?
Because you have not completely finished the quest.
What are you?
Ah, yes. Familiar words. Perhaps this will help you to understand.
Damashi! What has he done to you? Let him go!
Shujinko, please save me! Oh, fool! Damashi does not exist. The avatar you see before you is merely a projection of my consciousness. I manipulated this astral puppet from beyond the boundaries of death, and in turn, manipulated you. I deceived you into bringing me the means of attaining ultimate mastery over reality.
So it seems that I have indeed known you all these years. Then by what name shall I call you now? Tell me who you really are, demon.
I am Onaga, the Dragon King of Outworld and soon-to-be ruler of all that exists. I must thank you for bringing me so much power. The Kamidogu are mine.
You may have them. They do nothing. You have wasted your time. Nothing happened when I placed them all on the altar.
Not all. If you had found the last piece, the altar would have transported them to the Elder Gods. But the last piece is currently in Outworld in the possession of a fool sorcerer. I will deal with him later. For now, I will take these artifacts you have so dutifully collected for me. I am afraid they will not make it into the hands of the Elder Gods after all. And so, Shujinko, your quest is done. Prepare for death.
Even though Shujinko was already on his quest, Onaga needed other preparations for his return. His holy priests had hidden the last great dragon egg that had been in incubation for several centuries, and as legend says, the Dragon King would be reborn. During the days of the Outworld Earthrealm Mortal Kombat tournament, the priests would encounter a fire elemental known as Blaze. The priests, along with their combative monks, would manage to capture Blaze, and charge him with guardianship of the Great Dragon Egg, forcing him to guard and protect it till hatched. Only then would Blaze be released from his prison and duty. About a decade later, a reptilian creature would venture into the secret chambers of the Great Dragon Egg. The creature did not seem to have interest in the egg. However, the Great Dragon Egg started to hatch. A massive beam of energy bursts out of the egg and straight into the reptilian creature. The creature morphed into something different. The Dragon King. Onaga was using this reptilian creature as a host to take a physical form outside of the nether realm. He would seek out his corpse with intent to truly resurrect himself, but first, he needed to collect the tools to ensure his success. This is when Onaga confronts Shujinko, and his deception revealed. Onaga obtains the Kamidogu, and now, Onaga will retrieve his army.
As suspicion and lust for power overcame both Quan and Shang Tsung, the former allies turned on each other. The deadly alliance was no more. Quan defeated Shang Tsung and reveled in his conquest. But it is said that there is only one true ruler of Outworld. And that ruler had returned. Onaga, former Emperor of Outworld, the Dragon King. The prophecy had been fulfilled. The Dragon King had indeed returned to Outworld to reclaim his army and impose his dominance. Death awaited all who stood in his way. And so it was that a new alliance was formed out of desperation. Sworn enemies joined forces to combat a greater threat. Raiden began to realize that even their combined might was not enough to defeat the Dragon King. There was only one chance left. Raiden's sacrifice was in vain, for the blast had little effect on the Dragon King. Now Onaga has what he needs to shape the realms as he sees fit.
Delaying his attack on the realms until he was fully restored, this gave the champions of the realms time to locate Onaga, and form a plan of attack. The Dragon King's return would prove to be short-lived as a combined effort would defeat the threat. Many champions of the realms would attack together, overwhelming Onaga. Sindel, Queen of Edenia, and guard, Jade, would prevent the restoration process of Onaga's original body by impaling his heart. Simultaneously, many other warriors would distract Onaga in battle as Shujinko retrieved the Kamidogu from Onaga's throne room. Without the power of the Kamidogu protecting him, and still being in this hosted body, Onaga became vulnerable. This allowed the Native American, known as Nightwolf, to perform an ancient ritual. Nightwolf was able to trap the soul of Onaga back into the Nether Realm. The Dragon King is defeated. Back to being trapped in the Nether Realm, Onaga is approached by its ruler, Shinnok. Shinnok would manage to free Onaga from his bindings set by Nightwolf and manipulate him, along with other key forces, to work together to claim the godlike prize said to be at the Argus Pyramid in Edenia. With the combined efforts of Shinnok, Quan, Shang, Shao Kahn, and Onaga, they were able to escape the Nether Realm, and off to the pyramid they would go. The Great Battle of Argus would commence between the forces of light and dark, but eventually allies would turn on each other. During the chaos, Onaga would take the opportunity to get revenge on his former general. He would attack Shao Kahn, and a mighty one-on-one battle would commence. However, Onaga, being in his weakened Netherrealm form, would prove to be no match for the mighty Shao Kahn. Shao Kahn would eliminate Onaga, as well as everyone else, as Shao Kahn would become a god. Even though the great return of the Dragon King was short-lived, some legends say that he will always return. Due to the timeline event caused by the Thunder God Raiden, Shujinko was never able to complete his quest, and Onaga's return delayed. However, a new era has begun, and the ever-looming return of the Dragon King still persists. Despite the meddling of gods and titans with our realms and time itself, the prophecy remains, and suggests that time is near. But till then, this is where the tale of Onaga, the Dragon King, comes to an end, in the legends of Mortal Kombat.